Hello, World Doll Day friends. We have a very special program today to share with you. And the lady that's giving the program is also very special to David and myself. We have been friends for many, many decades. And those of you that have ever been out to a convention or an auction, you would know this lady. She was the curator of dolls for turn of the century antiques. She is an international authority. She does a lot of research work with collectors to help them understand, and she's just a wonderful person, Sally Freeman.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes, you know, you can't make old friends, and we've been old friends for a long time.
That's true.
Now, Sally has a really incredible knowledge of dolls, which has been fun for us to have her with Sayuri for a couple of days, because it's all doll talk, talking about doll people. We've got a long history. So, since it's World Doll Day, which it's a small world, we blend things together. We want to learn about other cultures and dolls, but you've brought something very interesting. So, first of all, why is this dress here?
Why is this dress here? This dress, first I have to tell you, I saw these dolls online somewhere, like 5, 6 years ago, and was very excited about this lady sitting in the chair. And she was wearing this lovely 1950s flocked nylon commercial doll dress. And why?
Why?
Why? I did not know why. I still don't know why, really. But that's what she was wearing.
And it's very distinctive.
No, it was unforgettable.
Unforgettable.
Exactly. And I mean, this doll went to the top of my want list because I collect Japanese dolls. And I'd never seen one, a lady sitting in a chair, you know, wearing Western clothes, basically. And so, you know, I kind of forget, and I'd see the picture in my folder, you know. But then
So you did not get it? You didn't?
Not then. I don't even know where I saw them. I don't know if it was an auction or just a picture.
Could it have been Pinterest?
It could have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
But see, you have a photographic memory.
Oh, well, for that I do.
Yeah, okay.
Not for everything. Anyways, last December, they come up on eBay for buy it now at a price that was extremely reasonable. And it's the whole set. It was these three ladies.
Okay.
And she was wearing this dress. And so I bought them. Merry Christmas to me. That's what I figured, you know. And then, you know, I got them, and I did a research what I think she should have been dressed in. We took this off.
But we have to save this because
we're saving it.
This is such an amazing artifact.
Michael's in love with this dress.
I just can't get over it. You know, the great thing is you could bury this and dig it up 20 years later and it'd be perfect. Just hose it off.
Which I've never done. You know, it has, you know, it's commercially made with snaps that are sewn on by machine, and, you know, it's just...
But this was what I would call a supermarket doll dress.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the ones that were up over the refrigerators that were big and fancy. But the bows are not.
No, the bows that
those were
enhancements.
enhancements.
Those were added, yes, because whoever did it just felt.
But this was on it too.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to the dress, the print is kind of pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an oddity.
It is.
So what are then you went into research mode?
Then I knew of the woodblock prints of the era, late 1880s basically. If you research Japan and whatever, you see them. And I knew about the ladies that wore these costumes,
Western costumes.
Western costumes, Japanese women. And they were mostly wives of diplomats, government people, wealthy people, society. because everybody in Japan did not start wearing these dresses. Number one, you couldn't get them. You had to order them from France or go to France, which people did. And so it was a very small amount of the population that wore these clothes. And the court wore them.
So the royal family wore
The
them.
royal empress, you see the empress wearing, I mean, pictures of her wearing Western clothes. And these two ladies, they just happened to come with them. And the most interesting thing to me, for people that are looking at these dolls, they say, well, what, you know, these look like just Japanese dolls, you know, kimono, whatever, hakama, but it's the boots.
I mean, that's such a departure.
The boots are the departure. They started, the women started wearing, can you get it in that? Well, you can probably see hers too. They started wearing these Western style boots, which is such a departure from tabi socks and sori, and you can't wear shoes in your home. You'd have to you would never wear these on tatami. It would ruin it.
So are they depicting high button boots? Is that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it's kind of a simplified.
Yes. And the size of the feet on this one is amazing. I mean,
oh my.
The scale.
Oh
She
my.
has big feet, this lady. And at first I was like, are these even right? You know, I wasn't really sure. But then there are pictures of a couple more of them. Like, I've seen maybe 4 or 5. That's it, with boots.
With boots.
With boots.
The Japanese dolls with boots.
With boots. Right. Of this era. Yeah.
And so what era are we talking about?
We're talking about 1880s
Okay.
on.
And that was when there really was a craze in the West for all things Japanese.
Exactly.
You know, the wood.
Yes, because that's when it was.
Porcelains, the textiles.
That's when the trade had really grown.
Started to flow.
Yeah, right. And what I was going to say about this is how traditionally, I mean, a kimono would be, and this was a departure. Actually, the pants, the hakama, these are pants. And are these pants? I'm not sure now. 2 of them are, one of them. And this is all paper lined with newspaper.
Interesting. It's very much like a crush figure would be like.
Yes. And actually the form is, I mean, it's just a simple block of wood in here and wire arm to the elbow and to the knee and then wood below. So,
Which is very similar to a crush figure.
Exactly. And then they're wrapped with paper, the wire.
So these are not, then I would say these are not play dolls.
Oh, no.
These are decorative
90,
accessories.
98% of Japanese dolls are not play dolls.
Okay.
of you know, antique ones. Yeah. Ichimatsu, the baby kind of are, but both of them are for display.
Display. Okay. So what is the material that the head is made of on these?
Okay, these are they're carved wood. And
So they're not gofu?
Oh, underneath. I mean,
Oh,
on top.
On top, okay.
Yeah, they're carved wood, and I was going to see.
Okay, so that's the finish.
And the thing is, this is autopsy too. And see, you can see it here.
Oh, how fun.
How fun. And some of them.
Now, is that just come loose, or was it meant to be removable?
No, they're removable, most of them.
Okay.
Some of them have a wooden spike too. I don't know. I think.
I would be afraid of that.
I put wax in them because I don't want them to fall out. But then the surfaces go fun, like you said. And if anybody knows how it's done, it's a very labor-intensive process. It's not just slap it on and.
Well, because it's so smooth and
And
pretty
it's
much
layered. And like the eyes would be inset from the front. You know, they're not inside the head like
so
that.
they'd be sit in the front, and then they have to
Then
build
they
up.
build around it.
Okay.
And then, well, you first you just cover it, and then you cut. you know, cut
You
it
cut
away.
open the, okay. All right.
All right. And these, yeah, she has a little open mouth with the teeth, which is very.
She has it. They all have beautiful profiles.
And the profiles are very distinct.
I just noticed something on her. Is that parasol? That looks kind of odd. It looks very.
Well, this is part of when Western clothing started, you know, when Japan opened to the West, they wanted to be modern, the people, you know, and that's one of the things that the men, the women started carrying this umbrella. And you see this in the pictures.
Utilitarian umbrella. No big
Right,
deal. No decorative.
No, just I think they were mostly black, just like this one, very simple, not a parasol, you know.
Right. An umbrella.
But umbrella. And the men, what they adopted, the men that weren't wearing suits like we would think of, which some men did, that were in business and in court and whatever, they started wearing, they would carry umbrella, they'd wear a Western style hat, either, you know, a felt type hat or a straw hat, like a boater hat, you know, that style. And they called them chapeau. S-H-O, what is it? Chapeau.
I'm not the speller here.
I know. It must be S-H-A-P-P-O-S. Like the French, but it's a little different. And they also they adopted wearing long wool scarves or shawls over their kimono to look a little bit Western.
Okay. Well, this I think is not only is it unusual for a doll to have that parasol, but it looks to me like umbrella. It's got the cover on it still, which is kind of
I think
unique no matter what. Turn it back to the camera so they can see it. And
because it was an accessory.
So this is a lady.
Yes, this is a lady.
So that was a unisex accessory.
And the other doll that I have seen with the boots and the similar form, she has an umbrella also.
Okay.
So it was.
And then I also noticed on her, I know we're supposed to be focusing on the girl in the center, but on her it looks like she has a snood with a net on the back of her hairstyle.
I don't know if that even is.
Do you think it's original?
I don't have any idea.
I have to ask Sayuri if that's an acceptable hair.
That was a simple thing to do that looked Western, probably.
Okay.
This wouldn't be Japanese to wear this hairnet type. And one interesting, the hair, you didn't ask me that yet, is silk fiber. See, you can see little pieces of it. I mean, it just starts breaking off. And
is there anything that can be done?
No, it's so dry, you know, it would be like old mohair that's so dry you can't do anything with it. Yeah. And the wood, what shows that they are wood is there's a channel here around her head, and this, the hair is actually put into that and then pulled back. And then of course she has the little hand-painted.
And was that a technique that they did for many, many years?
Oh yeah, centuries.
Okay.
Centuries, I'm sure.
So the French ultimately copied that.
Ultimately, right. The Japanese is one of the probably the oldest doll culture in the world.
Oh, I would say so.
They've been making, and they weren't for play. You know, they were
decorative items.
Decorative and spiritual, you know, religious, whatever.
Status too.
Oh yeah, status too. In fact, at one time, now we're getting off topic a little bit.
Well, we do that.
I know, it happens. You know, the Hinamatsuri set, the Girls' Day sets, at one time, they got, you know, usually it actually means small. They got so huge that there was a government edict, or whatever you want to call it, that you couldn't, you know, you couldn't own them that big. They stopped having, they thought it was too showy, too you know.
Status.
And some of them are huge. I mean, they're like this big. Whereas most Hina sets are, you know.
So let's talk about this one.
Okay.
I think this one has, the fabrics are amazing.
And I've never seen anything like that, and you know it's for real.
And I think what's even more fascinating about her shoes than the other two is you can see that it's got a pattern in it,
yes, a little
almost
bit
like crocodile or some kind of a woven. I mean, that was really, and it's carved in.
Right.
So, and those, again, she's got huge feet.
Huge feet. And it's, I don't know why, because the dolls like this don't have huge feet. Of course, they've got bare feet, basically, but maybe they just bought what they could.
And this must have been, for them, if this were in real scale, this would be difficult to walk in, those kind of shoes.
You would think so.
So you had this one in the center seated with this amazing dress on it, which you knew wasn't right. It was just wrong on so many levels.
Many.
So then, where did you get your source material to decide to do this?
I looked through my pieces of Japanese fabric, which I have little pieces, you know, they're not big, that I bought, and someone gifted those to me many years ago. And it was this piece, well, there were other pieces too. This one, the purple, and the red were in this group of fabric. And look how they went together.
And I will give you a compliment that it's very Parisian to mix purple and red, and sometimes they mix orange and purple. And I think that it's very interesting that you used for your trim this edge, because Parisians did that.
That is the salvage edge of the fabric.
The House of Worth was, they did not.
This fabric probably wasn't more than this wide, so you get a lot of salvage.
Yeah, and they used it. They did use this as a decorative. Now, I'm not. This is not my area of expertise, but I have seen, prints of this time, and you see costumes like this on
That's
ladies.
A lot of them. A lot of them. That's where I got the inspiration. I studied the prints, and there are a lot of them that are of the period, and the costuming, the colors are wild.
Well, that era in the West was wild too. We think of that not everything is a tintype. They was in Technicolor. But I did notice, I think that for the era, she's thick in the center. So
she is thick in the center.
So did the Japanese ladies? They adapted the Western costumes, but did they adapt the corseting?
I've never read that they did, but I presume they did.
I think that if you weren't, though, trained early, it would be hard to have your body conform to that.
Especially after wearing kimono, which is totally different.
Yeah, you don't have that shape.
No, and it's not restricted. The layers of kimono are tied with, ties, and then the obi on top. But there's under things that there's just ties to keep them together. It's a cord. What? Obi-jime. We
have our Japanese expert. She's in the back.
And she's sitting here.
She's sitting there. I performed yesterday. Don't ask me today.
Yeah. But like this lady, you have your obi, which is restrictive in a way, but actually this is a modern style. When the kimono schools came along, I don't know exactly when, 50s, 60s, after, and now everything is very precise. This is so many inches from this, and this is, and they weren't like that originally. It was much more flowing and much more for informal, except for the court and their
Well, and
ceremonial.
And then so you've done a bonnet, and that had to be very radical when you consider that. I mean, I've done quite a few programs on hats, and one thing that people don't realize, and recostuming when they do costume things, people dress in costumes, they never do their hair to go with the style. And in the 19th century, 20th century, and in our lifetime, your hair had to be styled to go with your hat. And I think it would be the same then, because you couldn't wear that hairstyle with this hat. You could maybe wear that hairstyle, or maybe even this if it were a little lower.
They must have had to. I don't know how intricate everyday hairstyle was for just, the run-of-the-mill population, not wealthy, whatever.
Well, and wouldn't you say that if she were in this Western costumes, she would be wealthy?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So she would have someone to do her hair for her.
When you had to order your gown from Paris.
Yeah, you're wealthy.
You're wealthy, right? Or go to Paris, and people did. That's when they started traveling internationally, and you can see the little bit of hair there, where it's in the.
And we're going to show the image of her in this beautiful dress when you got her, and then her body.
Right. Yes.
And then the finished product.
Her naked body is, pretty sad.
Yeah.
It's a block of wood.
Yeah, well, that works.
It works, because that's all they had to be, is just straight up and down.
So our attendees that are out there, so if they want to, what do they need to look for if they want to have one of these East meets West dolls? Do they have to fight you to get them?
Good luck finding one. I hope they do. I hope someone has some.
But I think the thing to look for
no one's going to, I don't know, someone in Japan, a Japanese dealer might know, the difference between a regular lady, and one dressed like this, or even with the boots. But say an American found one in Japan, bought it, and brought it back here, you see it, they're not going to know that that's really odd and different, the boots, I don't think.
Well, I think it's very,
it's
kind of, because you don't expect that.
Yes, you don't expect that.
Let's show them what you do expect.
Well, she's got bare feet, and she doesn't even have any go fun left on them.
Yeah, but that's what you'd expect.
Yeah, but see how big her feet are, actually.
They are big.
Maybe it was to support, because she would have been on a wood stand like this, but she's unglued.
So when I'm out and about, what I'm going to look at, I'm going to start looking at the feet.
Exactly.
And then if they don't have clothes, then we have a little fun time of doing this up.
Yeah, it would be a shame you wouldn't undress. You wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. No, but I think that there's enough of them out there that have they need some care.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So I think it's amazing that you've been very helpful to us with your eagle eye, and you found the fabulous original photograph of Miss Rose Percy, and which we're very grateful to you for that. And then, you've got the eye to never forget a beautiful dress, and here it is. So, and I think that this is, in a way, this lady kind of represents, in a way, World Doll Day, because she's Japanese, yet she's a little bit French, and she's a little bit California because of your contribution to her. Anyways, doll friends, we will be back later with more programming. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.